Since we last checked in with you guys at the top of the show, there is even more police presence on the scene. There's no new information right now, but we do want to give a description of the suspect. That wind gust over here is strong. I want you to take a look at the water. Our photographer, Joe Escobedo, and I noticing the difference from where we were to where we are now. Well, although it's clear that there have been disagreements and miscommunication, both Judge Canales and Mayor Guajardo say there will be no negative impact. And I know you're wearing your Sinton maroon. I mean, you can see I am too. There's a lot of fun happening out here. I don't know if you can see, my hair is kind of crazy, but other than that, the fireworks were amazing. But this is exactly where they'll be tomorrow morning, ready to sell fireworks to anyone that stops by. Since we last talked, there's so many more people out here. Even Santa paid a visit. So if you haven't made your way downtown, go ahead and get on out here. Recovery from Hurricane Ida continues throughout the state of Louisiana, and right here in Slidell, there are signs of a return to normalcy. I'm here on the Texas Game Warden's brand new boat. We're giving it its first test run. Hallways and classrooms no longer empty on Corpus Christi ISD campuses as students made their way back for the start of the school year. At 5, we showed you what Airline Road looks like now that construction is pretty much complete. But what about the other projects like Ocean Drive or Ayers? Well, I spoke with the city and they tell me they're close to the finish line for both of those projects. Standing water, damaged homes, the impacts of Ida still seen and felt in Lafitte.
Right now we're living with generators and ice and stuff like that.
Neighbors helping neighbors, making sure that the residents in this community are taken care of.
We got up this morning about midnight, brought 1,700 sacks of ice down, hoping to be able to reach the people, and that's it. There's a need and we came.
And across the way in Barataria, many stuck and in need of supplies.
A barge broke loose and knocked it off. It's a bridge that swings open. It knocked it off its axis, so it's impassable. So that's what made it so hard for anyone to get any assistance, any help, a fire truck, a running vehicle.
Lisa Crossan and her husband Mike doing what they can to lend a helping hand by using their mud boat to hand out supplies.
Orange Beach United Methodist Church came in this morning, brought a van and a big trailer full of things, and I've been in a mud boat taking it house to house.
Crossan and her husband making sure their neighbors are taken care of.
My neighbors are 80. Another man at the end is 80. We've given them a small generator. We gave them a window unit. We've brought them food. We've filled their tanks for them to keep the generators running.
Including neighbors like Laura and Scott McLean, who felt the impacts of Katrina 16 years ago.
Our house was just raised by FEMA. Brick ranch house, 10 feet in the air, and thank God, because if not, we would have had 5 feet of water in this house and lost everything again.
And say they're grateful for their community and each other.
We got our lives, we got the contents of our house there when we get back, and we'll rebuild and put it back together. That's what you do on the bayou.
And Crossan says she's going to continue helping.
I'm able to do it, so I want to do it.
Laundry, a never-ending cycle. And in this shopping center along the city's south side is where many come from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. to complete a cycle or two.
Business has stayed pretty steady. We've been lucky enough to be able to stay open during the pandemic because we're an essential business.
While working to keep the doors of this family-owned business open,
me and my dad run them together. I officially took over them probably about 6 months ago.
Owner Drew Van Dam is seeing a different kind of cycle take place right inside his store.
He's just causing a ton of damage.
He is the man right here, a man who's been breaking into the store, and not just once.
6.
But 6 times, and Van Dam says it all started a year ago.
January 29th of 2020, but that was probably about $1,800 worth of damage, and he got, I think, $800 in cash and coin from us.
Since then, Van Dam says the man with the bike and hat hasn't stopped.
In the past 2 years, he's done like $6,000 worth of damage totaling up.
Police reports made, security measures taken.
We bought new security cameras. We got more enhanced cameras. They're 4K. I can zoom in. I can look from my bedroom. I could look from across town. I can watch them anywhere. I installed these speaker systems in here that are hooked up to an Alexa system. So at my house at 2 o'clock in the morning, if I see him in here, I can basically talk to him through the speaker system.
But he keeps coming back.
Back row right there, it's completely gone now. We basically had to get rid of the machines because it was too expensive to fix them from the damage that he caused.
Corpus Christi police say since the pandemic, they've seen a shift in burglaries.
Burglars have shifted to burglary of business rather than burglary of a residence because the people are at their house.
Businesses just like Van Dam's, but Van Dam says although it keeps happening,
Sunday night, Monday night, and Wednesday night,
he's seeing it as a positive rather than a negative.
it brought attention to things that we need to focus on, our security.
And police say they're doing what they can.
Wish that we could solve crimes in 30 minutes or less like they do on TV, but you know, it is a process and we want to cross our T's, dot our I's.
Van Dam says he's just hoping that with help from the police and the community, this cycle can end. This door right behind me doesn't just lead to a daycare, but for many in the community, a second home, and for the kids here, a castle.
It's just magical, and we want the children to come in here and feel like a magical, happy place for them to come in.
That magical, happy place located in the city of Alice is Cinderella's childcare.
Parents that they were my students, and they're bringing in their children. So I've gone through generations, and I'm still here.
Owner Aurelia Guerrero Luna has been bringing magic to children's lives for over 40 years, and it wasn't until this year that she decided to expand her castle beyond her home.
I had home daycares in Freer, then I was the daycare director for 14 years in Freer. We moved back to Alice. I still commuted and kept going for 2 more years.
When it comes to taking care of the kiddos and operating this business, it takes a village.
We make it our daily routine to do a curriculum, or sing the national anthem, starting handwriting, learning everything, counting their ABCs, their letter sounds.
It's a real rewarding experience to see how much our kids progress.
The Luna Village.
I'm their mother, I'm their boss, and I'm their friend, and it's just an unbeatable combination to work with them.
Working side by side, overcoming challenges, especially those brought by the pandemic.
Our parents work with us, so they knew that if they had any symptoms, mild symptoms, they wouldn't bring them. We practice good hygiene. We take temperature checks.
In a time where we saw many child care facilities shut down or have outbreaks, this castle was okay.
We have had a scare before, but thank God everything worked out.
Queen of the Kingdom Aurelia says this family affair is more than she could ever imagine.
A dream is a wish your heart makes, and it can be done, and it can come true.
And her daughters are hoping that this castle can stand strong for another 40 years.
I sure hope to follow in my mom's footsteps fully and retire just like my mom in childcare. I want to be the best that I can be.
Julissa Garza, 3 News.